there, my name is Cynthia Wakeo, and today we're looking at the mistakes HR professionals make during interviews. And when you come to think of it, HR professionals are the ones who are mostly doing interviews in organizations. So they may forget some things that are crucial to stand out in interviews. And that's what we're going to be addressing today. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you, Cynthia.
So, as our lead recruiter at corporate staffing,
Yeah.
what mistakes have you seen HR professionals specifically make when it comes to interviews?
There's something that you've mentioned at the beginning, which is very important, and which is HR, we are used to interviewing people. So we know what it takes to pass interviews, in quotes. So sometimes when you're used to doing something, it's very easy for you to drop the ball. You make a lot of assumptions. And what I've seen, the biggest mistake I've seen HR professionals make is getting too technical, not speaking the language of the business. And especially when they are being interviewed by someone who doesn't have a HR background. So what do I mean? When you talk about the HR speak, all the technical HR jargons, if it's another HR person interviewing you, let's say it's a HR business partner or a HR director, they don't understand where you're coming from. But if you're being interviewed by a director or a business person, entrepreneur, and they don't have a HR background, you lose them. So as a HR, you know how to answer. Tell me about yourself. What are your strengths? Because you do this on a daily basis. You see candidates, so you've more or less mastered. Yeah. But if you take the approach where it's more technical, you're using HR jargon, you miss your audience. And here is the audience of the person interviewing you, and they don't have a HR background. So my advice to them then would be talk the business language, simplify. Yeah. Even if you're addressing business HR issues, talk in a way that an HR person is going to understand. Yeah.
How then do you avoid this kind of mistakes? More tips on how to avoid this kind of mistakes.
The only way to avoid this is to come to the level of the business person. Yeah. So, for example, a typical HR jargon can be employee welfare. What does employee welfare mean? Even for you, Cynthia, who has a communication background, yeah, at the back of your mind, you understand what is welfare is. It's looking after the interest of this other person. But how do you simplify that? So that an HR person can understand. So for me, I would say, how do I take, when it comes to employee welfare, how can I demonstrate that the company cares? So you can talk about things like team building. You can talk about things like training, ensuring that staff are trained either on the area of specialization or even other areas, to make their life or careers better. You can talk about appreciation. So you can see when I break it down, we can now have a conversation, and I can be able, as an interviewer, I can be able to understand where you're coming from. Yeah. So simplify, come to the level of the person interviewing you, and that way they'll be able to get to understand you better. Yeah.
So, what I've gotten is understanding who is interviewing you and not assuming that everybody knows what you're talking about.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Yes. Don't make assumptions. Assume. In fact, assume. This is assume it's someone who doesn't have an understanding of HR. Simplify, make it as simple, because the whole essence of interviews is you being able to communicate the value you're bringing on board.
Yes.
It's not to wow people with the knowledge and the experience that you have. Yeah, you might be the most experienced person, you might be the most skilled person, but if that doesn't come out during the interview, then you're going to miss out on the job. And the reality is, by the time someone, and this advice I give to all professionals, by the time I call you for an interview, Cindy, chances are I've seen value in you. So it's just how you communicate. It's how you package yourself during an interview that you'll affirm that, oh, indeed, whatever we had seen in the CV, this is the same person. Yeah.
All right. Thank you for your time
Thank-
and giving us those tips.
Thank you, Cindy.
Thank you so much for watching this video. For more tips on how you can grow your HR career, please subscribe, share, and we will see you in the next video.